What do you do when the cold and grey German winter seems to last forever? Well, this is my answer. I'm taking an overnight train journey down to Italy, and I'm taking you with me. Having ridden with so many other companies from around the world, this is actually my first ever time in a normal room on a Nightjet, the most mainstream sleeper train company in Europe. So I can now finally give you my thoughts on them, their showers, their breakfasts, their ticket prices, what really surprised me about my 3-person shared compartment, and why this particular adventure represented more to me than just a reminder that the sun still exists. All will be revealed on my 14-hour journey down to the Mediterranean coast, which felt a world away from freezing cold February Leipzig, as I tried to deal with problem number 1 of this journey. Even making it down to Munich to connect onto the Nightjet. That shouldn't be so bad, I thought, until I received this notification from Deutsche Bahn, telling me that the network was disrupted by technical problems nationwide. After which, I wasn't sure at this point that I'd even make it that far, which was kind of making me nervous considering the very fixed, very expensive plans that I had down in Genoa. With this first train down to Munich arriving anyway, me getting on board and enjoying the view out of my lovely window seat and tucking into a spot of dinner, you'd have thought things were going well. There was even an announcement that the network problems were being dealt with.
Die technische Störung wurde entdeckt, erfasst und wir können dann ohne Einschränkungen unsere Fahrt in Richtung München wieder fortsetzen. Vielen Dank.
But it was a second announcement that really spelt disaster.
Sich antun möchten für einen Kaffee, bleiben Sie am besten sitzen, weil wir haben ja keinen Kaffee mehr und wir werden auch keine Nachrichten bekommen. Wir bitten Sie zu entschuldigen.
Thankfully, as a good honest English person, I know how to deal with such setbacks. Tut loudly and simply buy a cup of tea instead, and I was happy to arrive into a freezing cold Munich, only minimally delayed, and in good spirits. Okay, well, that part officially didn't ruin the journey, meaning it's on. I even had an hour or so before my sleeper train was coming, which is technically enough time to enjoy a stroll around the city, even if I went almost straight back inside because it's, February in Munich. My quest to get some midwinter vitamin D without flying has never seemed so urgent. So I mostly waited anxiously on the platform, looking around at everybody else who was waiting for the same train, wondering which 2 of them I'd be sharing a room with. It was cheaper than paying for a private room, so hopefully I'd get 2 considerate roommates and not end up regretting going for that option, hopefully. When it pulled up with the punctuality that you may expect from a company run by Austrians instead of Germans, I knew that I'd be finding out soon, but to my surprise, I stepped on to find my bed, number 32, all ready and laid out for me, with the 2 upper beds in the cabin still waiting to be folded out later. Okay, I thought, let's see how this goes. I filled in my request for the breakfast in the morning and looked forward to seeing how good that would be. And then, well, we're leaving Munich and nobody else is here yet. How long do I have this all to myself? Where are the others getting on? I left that question to be answered later and used this time to get used to the room and get ready for bed. My last few night trains had not seen me through to the destination particularly well rested, so I was hoping I would do better tonight, particularly since I was in the more expensive actual sleeper rooms tonight instead of the couchettes, as evidenced by these 2 actual decent pillows. Hopefully a sign that the bed would be nice and comfy. With enough room to store my bags underneath the bed as well, this all seemed really nice and spacious for a night train compartment, especially seeing as there was only 1 of the beds folded down. I'd booked a shared room, but had I actually unexpectedly landed my own compartment on an undersold midwinter train journey? I was almost getting my hopes up at this point. In the room, you also have an emergency contact button, these volume and temperature dials which I don't think do anything, and a bin. Not forgetting the pièce de résistance, this fold-out seat, which exists. For some reason. No, the actual headline here is the ensuite. Not only would I not have to leave the room to find a toilet and sink, I even had the chance to have my first ever shower on a moving vehicle. And they'd given me this bag of Austrian Railways goodies, namely these slippers, a clean flannel, a couple of little snack things, and some earplugs. Wait, new evidence just dropped. There's 1 bag of stuff. And 1 free bottle of water on the side here. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? There was also only 1 of these punch cards which you can use to unlock the room again if you leave. Not that there was anywhere to go if you leave. I did see a menu on the wall in the corridor and even this space for reheating meals and serving beers, but nobody around to order from, with the counter evidence to my lucky solo compartment theory being the fact that they'd given me 3 coat hangers and the other clean looking pillows that were already waiting in the storage space above the door. So since there was still a chance of 2 other people getting on at one of the Austrian stations we'd be stopping at in the night, I resolved to brush my teeth and pack my things away now, just in case. And of course, to try this out. Every other night train that I've been on, I've never paid enough to be in a section that has showers, except in Romania, which, yeah, we all remember how much I complained about that. But springing for this option this time was a real treat. Not only did it work, but it was probably more powerful than the showers in some apartments that I've rented before. And being all clean, climbing into bed in a private, or at least temporarily private room felt really luxurious. But to judge if it's worth the ticket price, first we of course have to see how well you can sleep on board. So I settled down knowing that we still had hundreds of miles ahead of us as we travelled down from Salzburg, past Venice and across northern Italy. None of which I even noticed because, in a proper twist ending compared to most of my night train experiences, I slept pretty much right through it all, eventually being woken by my normal phone alarm, barely in time to notice us calling in Milan around 7 AM. A weirdly deep sleep while moving for someone like me. No loud announcements, no passport checks at either border, and no 2 other people folding out their beds. I really had lucked out and booked a bed in a shared room where the other 2 beds just didn't sell, I guess. A very nice surprise. And as if that wasn't enough of a treat, northern Italy also greeted us with this sunrise. Heading south between Milan and Genoa, the fields around us just kept getting foggier and foggier and foggier until I started to wonder whether it's possible for a vehicle on rails to get lost. Sitting up in my very own compartment, watching my very own misty Italian welcome, and looking forward to stepping outside into above freezing temperatures was an experience that could only be improved by the appearance of a very friendly member of staff at my door to deliver the particular combination of caffeine and carbs that I'd selected from the breakfast menu last night. So it seems that my go-to Nightjet order is as follows: 1 black coffee, 1 orange drink, if you know you know, 2 rolls, margarine and marmalade. And I really enjoyed it. A tasty Austrian-style breakfast while watching an Italian-style sunrise out of this huge window, and I would definitely be happy to have it again the next time I'm on one of these services. Not a great deal of table space in which to arrange all of the various parts while trying to pose for the camera at the same time, but we do our best around here. The normal ticket price to do this journey in this supposedly shared compartment at around €180 is definitely a bit of a financial investment compared to flying. But after paying for so many other night trains and finally hitting one where I'd be arriving at my destination showered, rested and fed, I was pretty happy to have made that investment and tried this one out. And if you live in Munich and can hop on after work and wake up in Italy, that's not a bad deal at all. The prices do vary a lot, but as a rough estimate, you can usually get on this train sitting up all night in a seat for about €65, in a 6-person shared room with no ensuite for €100, or in a definitely actually private room with an ensuite from about €350. For me, having unexpectedly got that private room at the shared room price, getting served a vegan breakfast and hitting all of the northern Italian stations pretty much according to timetable, it's no surprise to say that I was enjoying my first proper ride on the Nightjet. Some journeys you can't wait for them to be over, but this one I gladly would have extended for another few hours, which some passengers would actually be doing, since some sections of the train continue down to either La Spezia or Rome. My next chapter, however, was waiting for me here on Italy's northern coast, in Genoa, whose train station itself is actually pretty nice, but I stepped outside to find something even better. Blue sky! And I headed into town, walking past the former home of Christopher Columbus, to sit under the city walls and enjoy that most unthinkable of things at this time of year in Germany. Sipping an espresso outdoors, without so much as a coat on. There really is nothing quite like it. All the while making sure that I kept an eye on the clock and made it down to the harbour in time to catch the next leg of my journey, an overnight ferry to Tunisia, because this was the first leg of Leipzig to Africa without flying. Thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe so you can join me for the second leg in my next video.